Oh my gosh, you are gonna get some hate mail this time.
That's right.
When I'm feeling down, I can't win. Pour a strong cup of coffee and I tune in. I'm waking on up to Java with Jim. I know my best day can begin. Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of Java with the Jims. My name is Jim Meyer, broker associate at Remax Gold. Now you have a friend in the real estate business. I'm drinking out of my Placer Title Company mug, and I'm here with my good friend Jim Filippi, Esquire. I have referred him a ton of clients. None of them have gone to jail. Good morning, Jim. How are you doing?
Good morning. That's a fancy cup you got there this morning. What's inside of that thing?
Well, I'm drinking my coffee, and I like my coffee the way I like my women, icy and acidic.
Oh my gosh, you are gonna get some hate mail this time.
That's right. Well, yeah, I just dumped out. I just burned the old hate mail and ready for some new stuff. And yeah, you're an attorney, so you must get plenty of hate mail already. So I have to work at it.
Well, we have, and when I started this firm, I went out on a mission to break the mold on what people thought of attorneys. And we we love it when we have clients come in here and say, I thought you guys were going to be something different. You're totally not like that. And when they walk away happy that they've come into contact with us, it's really very fulfilling. And our Google reviews reflect it. We have the most Google reviews, 5-star Google reviews in Rockland for any law firm. So it's pretty nice to see and very humbling.
And they don't have to be in Rockland to visit you because, like I always tell people, they say, "Well, I'd like a local realtor." Well, if you need brain surgery, do you hire a local brain surgeon? I don't think so. You're pretty much anywhere in California, somebody could use you, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have clients all over the state. In fact, I have clients all over the country that have California issues. I'm licensed in the Washington, D.C. as well, so we help people there. And so and if we can't help you, we'll put you in touch with someone that can.
Right, exactly. And I've had clients that where they bought a piece of real estate 4 hours away from us, and they wanted to use us. When I say us, me, because they trust me. And so, speaking of real estate, Jim Filippi, were you going to ask me a question about real estate
I,
today?
I was, and I think this is a big topic. And for anybody that's in the real estate market, you've definitely heard of this, but still a lot of confusion and unknown how this is going to play out. And if you've been living under a rock and you are in real estate, maybe this will be a hint to go start reading some of those emails from NAR. But there was a big lawsuit regarding listing fees and commissions and stuff, and a big change that went into place a few weeks back. And just wanted to see what's going on in your world and how you're handling that, and what really has changed.
Well, I'm going to tell you my understanding of it, and you're an attorney, so you probably understand it more. You'll correct me if I'm wrong, and I know you have no problem correcting me if I'm wrong. So there was a huge settlement, and because some people don't remember that we live in a free market economy with something called capitalism. They think that this is a socialist nation and that everything has to be fair, equitable, and that we're all
Control.
supposed to share the wealth. Well, if I help you buy a house and you don't know how much money I got paid to help you buy that house, I don't know why it's any different than if I helped you buy a car or build your fence or put a roof on your house or whatever, because I'm a licensed realtor and I make some decent money here and there. Then some people got together, did a class action lawsuit, and it was a settlement of over $400 million. And so right now what we do is our multiple listing service used to tell me how much percentage or what kind of payment I would get if I sold a specific house. So they'd say, okay, you sell this house, we want $300,000 for it. You sell it, you're going to get 3% of the sales price. And it was disclosed to me. I didn't have any obligation to share that information with my buyer because it's coming from the seller. Well, as you know, the buyer is paying that $300,000, so it's really coming out of the buyer's pocket at the end of the day. So bottom line is, thanks to this lawsuit, now our multiple listing service does not offer me anything. I have to talk to that listing agent and say, hey, how much money are you willing to pay me? And they'll say, well, we're going to pay you a 2.5% commission, a 3.5% commission, 3%, a $10,000 flat fee, et cetera, et cetera. So before I take you out to see a house, I now have to get you to sign an agreement, and I'm going to lock you in for 90 days. You're my client, and if you buy that house, I can write it up that way. Or if you buy any house in the next 90 days, say in the certain county, a certain type of house, etc., condo house, whatever, we could specify it. But I like to say, look, whatever you buy real estate wise in the next 90 days, I'm your realtor, we're married, and I'd like to have X percentage or X fee. And if I don't get that from that seller, you're going to make up the difference. And now it's easier than ever before now for the buyer to compensate me, the buyer's realtor, because lenders have this all figured out, and even VA loans, you can do it now. The seller can contribute to the buyer's closing costs, and then one of the buyer's closing costs could be my fee. So, Jim, you're an attorney. You've read all of this stuff. Did I get anything wrong there?
No, and not really much is new here. I mean, the reality of it is that this happened in the mortgage industry a decade or so ago, and it just seems like it was overdue, frankly. And I think it's a hassle for anytime you change a path, a system that you've been working on for 100+ years. But at the end of the day, this you're disclosing compensation, letting everybody know what's going on, and I have mixed feelings on it, but I think overall it's not going to be a huge change. I think it's going to provide some clarity and provide some security ultimately to all of the real estate agents out there that are working hard and tirelessly to find a buyer a home, and make sure that their time is properly compensated. And
Right.
that's
And
all.
for the hardworking realtors who know what they're doing and know how to negotiate, it should be no problem. For the people who got their license and say, oh, I want to help you pick out curtains, I want to drive you around, and then, oh, you want to buy this house, let's write this up. Those realtors could become roadkill, because all of a sudden now they need to learn how to negotiate, while you were supposed to always know how to negotiate on behalf of your buyer. Now you actually have to do it on behalf of yourself too. So now interesting, because as this all was happening, we saw articles in the newspaper, like New York Times writers saying, oh, well, the result is going to be the prices are going to go down for real estate. I'm going to ask myself, why would New York Times say, okay, you're going to write this article, you know nothing about real estate, you're going to act like an expert, you're going to speculate that prices are going to go down? Why don't you get somebody who knows what they're talking about? Or if they don't, go and do a little research. Don't just come up with these idiotic ideas. Why on earth would prices go down? Bottom line is, things are just going to be different. It's a shell game. You're moving the money around differently. Compensation is going to still happen. When you buy a house, the market dictates the value of that house, and
Yeah.
baked into that cake is a commission. And if you want to pay a smaller commission, you're going to get a weak realtor who is not going to work on your behalf, and a weak realtor is probably going to help you end up paying more than you should have for that property. And in the long run, you think you're saving money because you're not paying them the big bucks, but you're stabbing yourself in the back. Am I right, Jim?
You're absolutely correct. And I think this is an opportunity for the cream to rise to the top, and you're certainly the cream in the real estate industry. And so I think for someone like you, this is a great thing and a great opportunity for some of those that really weren't providing value to their clients and just simply filling out some forms, submitting them to a listing agent and hoping that they'd get an offer accepted. Those type of agents are going to either have to improve what they do or they're going to have to find another line of work. And so I think overall there's a lot of negative response to this in the industry, but I think in reality this is going to help the industry become more healthy.
Well, okay, you're totally wrong about that. But the fact is that we will adapt, and it's a little confusing. We got the forms that say I'm working for you exclusively or inexclusively. It took me a minute to figure out, well, are you talking about exclusively with this piece of property or exclusively with you as the client? And as the guy who taught me years ago used to say, when in doubt, read the contract. So we've got more pages to fill out than ever before. It's funny because tomorrow I'm going to be showing 9 properties to one client, which is crazy. And Jim, you were in this pretty big back in what, 09, 2010.
Oh yeah.
And after the crash, and that's what we used to do is spend all day from sun up to sundown showing properties, writing up offers, making deals like crazy. And it's getting back to that again. Now, do you have a prediction as far as the interest rates are concerned?
Well, I mean, the reality of it is we have this weird I don't want to use the term stagflation, but it's a scary term for those of you out there that understand economics. It's basically when you have inflation and a stagnant growth. And we're in that situation. And as much as people want to deny the fact that we have a fledgling economy and high interest rates and high inflation, it's a bit scary. So I think that if we get some people in charge that understand economics and make some good decisions at the Fed, we may be able to come out of this and start to see some reductions in those interest rates. But I don't think they can do it until the economy's back in order.
Well, people try to say, well, inflation is down, getting close to 2% now, but they don't realize that there's something called a compound effect. You got 9% interest rate, and then the next year you might have 6%, 5%, whatever. It's accumulated. We haven't gone backwards. We're just not going against that brick wall as fast as we were. So, and now the other thing is that they say that interest rates are coming down starting the end of September, a quarter percentage point. And I saw one report where it could be 1.25% by the end of the year. Who knows? But if that does happen, that's going to open the floodgates, of course, for people to buy. So I'm seeing people say, hey, I don't want to have that feeding frenzy where I have to compete with a dozen other buyers. I'll buy now. And then when they lower the rates, I'll refinance. So you guys might want to think about that. And Jim, you got a lot of smart, savvy investor clients that are looking to buy apartment buildings. And it might be a smart idea to struggle, put that $1 million down right now, pay that high interest rate, and refi in 2025.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. Everybody that's successful in any kind of business, they always talk about, running in when everybody's running out and running out when everybody's running in. And, everybody's out right now. And so it might be a good time for those that are looking to tip their toes into the market. Maybe a good time to do that for that exact reason.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, I'd recommend that anytime, unless you're talking about a burning building.
Yeah, you don't want to run into a burning building unless you're a firefighter.
Exactly. Or unless you're crazy. Jim, you want to come back tomorrow for another exciting episode?
I'll be here.
Okay, we'll see you guys again tomorrow.